Hey guys, Tim with Defense Mechanisms. I want to take a few minutes today to talk through my plate carrier setup for training, what's on it, and why. Really, before we dig into that, let's talk about the use case. Why wear a plate carrier for training? For my particular use case, I wear a plate carrier for a lot of CQB training because when you do live fire CQB training, a plate carrier is the safety equipment, right? I wear rifle rated plates so that when I train with other guys who have rifles with live rounds in them, if somebody makes a mistake, hopefully that mistake will not cost me my life. Luckily, I've never been in a class where anybody shot anyone, but I wear a plate carrier for training because it's part of my safety equipment. And because it's part of my safety equipment, sometimes I tend to train in it more often even than when it's required. And so something about a plate carrier that you guys may have already noticed is if you don't wear it very much, it's not super comfortable. No matter who makes the carrier, no matter how awesome the carrier is, it's only so comfortable until you get used to it. And so because sometimes my training requires me to wear a plate carrier, I definitely wear it more than is required. I wear it for CQB training where we do UTM sometimes. Sometimes I'll wear it for a carbine class because just being in it and just getting used to it, working around my kit, all of those things get me used to being in the carrier and help me really be sure if all of my kit is where it should be, right? If I'm working a bunch of reloads, it really gives me a good idea. Do I have stuff on my kit in a place that's optimal for reloads? If I'm doing a lot of breaching, do I have my kit set up in a way that can actually carry the tools I need for breaching? So with the context of live fire shoot house training, Tim is just a guy who trains. Let's just take a look at my kit. So this is an MEPC. This is size extra large. Surprise! I'm a big dude. And so kind of have this set up light. I tend to prefer, most of the CQB training we do is not high round count. And so I carry one mag on my belt, one mag in my carrier, and one mag in my rifle. If it's a UTM class, I typically only have one mag in my rifle and one mag on my belt, which is, CQB isn't really about shooting a lot. It's about problem solving, learning how to move and interact with the world around you and with a partner. And so I run a pretty light placard setup. One rifle mag. I keep a multi-tool in here because it looks cool, I think. I haven't used it in a long, long time, except for like picking my teeth out and like cleaning carbon off my buddy's rifle. But in my placard setup, you'll also see that some of my stuff as I show it off is old. As the product designer here, I oftentimes get the stuff way before it comes out, and I'll have pre-production versions and I'll forget to ever get new stuff. So you'll see like my Molly placard wrap here is the old style. If you buy one today, it'll have Velcro on it over the Molly so that you can use Velcro flaps and stuff. Mine doesn't because it was before I figured out that we should do that. But I got a flat pocket in here and I have, let's see, this is a flashbang rattle stop. That's all that's in here right now. One flashbang rattle stop. In my little zippered half pocket, right now there's a chamber flag. And obviously I put in what I need for the class. Most of the time this half pocket will have one of my battery wraps full of batteries in it. In the flat pocket a lot of times I'll have lens cloth. And you guys might notice that these zipper pulls are on the same side. For this zippered half pocket, I've actually taken the second zipper pull and smashed it down so there's only one operating zipper pull here because I like to be able to push this zipper all the way to the right and know that it's closed, all the way to the left it's open. I like for my flat pocket, I typically run the zippers to the left so that they're opposite each other. So I'm not grabbing the wrong ones on accident. I got a shears holder behind that, got an American flag patch, PID, push to talk. This is a push to talk holder. That's push to talk. And you'll see we get some questions about these every now and then. Our push to talk holders are pretty basic. It's just elastic on a little piece of webbing that slides under the Molly. And so I always hook up the small side first and then run the big side over everything. And then that keeps it pretty much put where I would need it. And then I plug my headset in, off we go. What else I got? I got my admin pocket here. I'm guessing there's nothing in here. Oh, I lied. There's a handcuff key in there for when things get weird with Jesse. Often, a lot of times I'll put a notebook in here and a pen. If I'm doing a CQB class, sometimes there'll be scenarios and I'll have to keep track of what address I'm at, what the suspect I'm looking for, et cetera, right? And so a lot of times I'll have a notebook in my admin pocket. To the right here, I have a mini cutter side ride. And this is an old one. It's Cordura. Anything you get now will be laminate. But again, I always get the old stuff and keep it forever. I use mini cutters. I think these are really handy if you have to be quiet for some light duty chain link work. It's really nice to have just a little set of mini cutters on you if you got to be very quiet when you get through something like that. If you need to get through fast, different tool, but if you need to get through quiet, I like those a lot. On the left side, a couple more side ride pouches. I have a breeching wedge and this one, and if you don't know how that works, you're gonna have to Google it. I'm not gonna be the one to tell you, but it's fun. And then I have a Cloud Defensive MCH. I think this is the high output only. For a tactical light, I prefer high output only, and I keep this just to the left of my placard. This is always available for my support hand. If I'm holding long down a hallway with my rifle, I can go to retention, I can pull this light out, and I can look in a different direction, and so I can check 2 angles. I can have white light on 2 angles of exposure at once if that's necessary. Or if we've done the primary assault and it's time to do secondary searches, the white light comes really handy if I sling my rifle and have my pistol out, or if I'm going to use my white light, or if a lot of times I do team leader role, and so I'm the tertiary of tertiary searches. So a lot of times I'm moving through the house with the white light at that point, talking to my team members. I got a radio over here and a side kick pouch, and I'm utilizing the comms pass-through channels in the MEPC to route my extra cables. Very convenient. You'll notice that my Cummerbund, this is the structural, and right now this is the regular structural Molle Cummerbund with first spear tubes. I have a hybrid on order, but just like you guys, I have to wait till full lead time, so I'll get that when I get that. I have on both sides of my Cummerbund, I have these GTSR buckles, and these are Quasm buckles, and I'll show you what I use them for in a minute. Behind my mini cutters pouch, I have a flashbang pouch. This is a large flashbang pouch. A lot of times in training, we'll use flashbangs, and so as you saw earlier, I had that rattle stop. If I'm using a Liberty Dynamics flashbang, I'll attach that rattle stop so that as I'm moving around, it's not cling, 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 cling. Right? On the back of my carrier, I keep it pretty slick. I have a name tape on here. Happens to be my last name, convenient. And I also have one of our little PID holders, and looks like this one's dead. Has a little Bright Strikes APALs in there. The beauty of these things is they're small, and if we're doing CQB in the dark, it's a really small little light in the back that's not right in the face of any instructors that are walking behind me. But the downside is that they turn on in your kit and you'll kill them sometimes before you ever use them. So what's really smart is to put a new one in here and then put it in a pouch somewhere where it can't get activated. I'm never that smart, and I just leave it on the back of my kit. And really that's kind of my training kit. If I'm doing any work where I need to carry more stuff, I'll often add a Recondite, and I have my carrier set up so I can add that Recondite pretty easily. I'm using the rear bag strap kit with G-hooks so that I can just G-hook it to the front and slap it on the back. Woo! And the GTSR buckles come around to these Quasms on the side. And so there's nothing in this Recondite right now because I haven't been doing classes recently that really required me to have any extra sustainment kit, but you can put all kinds of stuff in here. A lot of times if we're going to be training off-site, I'll have wet weather gear in here, and almost always if I'm wearing a Recondite, it'll have batteries in it. I think that batteries are one of the most underappreciated pieces of technology that we have. We have these incredible white lights that capture the brightness of the sun and cast it at your enemies for about 27 minutes. And then it gets a little less intense, and then a little less intense, and then a little less intense. And so I'll carry a big Theorem cell vault back here full of batteries when we're going to do a bunch of off-site stuff for the night. And then beyond that, it's got a lot of zipper compartments. I'm sure you guys have checked out our Recondite in the past, but this one, like I said, pretty much empty, but I'll plus it all up with Skittles and sandwiches and things like that. But a lot of wet weather gear, snivel gear, extra gloves, hats, that kind of stuff. Really, it comes down to whatever the mission dictates, with whatever the temperature is that I'm operating in, and whatever it is that we're doing. I think this kind of walks us through my plate carrier setup for training. For the training I do, the training you might do maybe requires completely different setup, completely different kit. Maybe what you're doing makes more sense for a chest rig. If you're just taking a lot of carbine classes on the flat range, maybe a chest rig is a better setup for you. Have at it. I'm not telling you what is the best. I'm just telling you what I use and why. Hopefully this helps. If you have any questions about my training plate carrier setup or anything else, hit us up at contact@defensemechanisms.com. Please like, subscribe, share, follow on all our social channels. That really helps us out. We love hearing from you guys. If you have ideas for any new pieces of kit, we'd love to hear that stuff too. Really, you guys' ideas do a lot of the driving of our R&D. So thank you guys for watching, and I'm sure I'll see you on the next one.